What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Suit Hine Show. And today I have a very special guest joining me, a Cincinnati Bengals legend. I have Icky Woods joining me. How you doing today, Icky?
I'm doing pretty good, Jordan, man. Just hanging in there, man. Real happy about the year we had this past year, man, and happy about a few of the off-season acquisitions that we got, man. Getting some more much-needed offensive line help, man. So looking forward to seeing what the guys can do this year.
Really excited, about the Bengals' upcoming season. This past season was a terrific year. Really, thankful and glad you'll be able to join my show today. We can kind of talk about the Bengals this past year and this year, also about your foundation as well. But this past season with the Cincinnati Bengals, we shocked everybody this season. Most people had us being last in the AFC North, and we ended up being in the Super Bowl. So what were your thoughts on this, past season, historic run by the Bengals?
I'd have to say it was a historic run, man, because I didn't even have us, going to the Super Bowl. I did have us, beating the Raiders at home to end that, 30-year drought, man, of not winning a playoff game. And then I had us. I knew we could go down and beat Tennessee because Chris Henry was coming back off of injury, so I kind of knew we had the Tennessee game, but I didn't give the guys enough credit that they can go into Kansas City and beat Kansas City in Kansas City. I thought, making it to the AFC Championship game was going to be great for us, and they actually shocked me as well as they shocked everybody else, and went down there and came back from behind and actually won the AFC Championship game. But once we got down there, my thinking was once they jumped up on us before halftime, and when Eli Apple and Henderson made that great goal line stop, going into the locker room, we was down 11. We had the momentum, and I said, well, this is just like the same thing would happen when we was at home. We were down 11 at halftime. Oh, we're going to come back and win this one. And sure enough, man, they made the strides to come back, and we won that game and made it to the Super Bowl, man. It was very surprising, but very, very rewarding as well.
You were actually at that game, the AFC Championship game when we beat Kansas City. You were there for the, trophy presentation. So what was, all that experience like and everything?
Oh, man, it was wonderful, man. They told me if the game was close with 5 minutes left before halftime, then I needed to come down to the tunnel area where they go onto the field. And it was a tie ball game with 5 minutes left. So I made my way down there. I was under the tunnel, and I was watching a TV that had a delay on it. So whatever happened on the field happened about, maybe 3-4 seconds before I actually got to see it on TV. And, and you could tell when something good for us happened because the stadium was quiet, but when something good for them happened, the stadium just got real loud. And I was actually sitting in there on pins and needles, and I feel somebody rub my shoulder. And I look back, and it's Boomer Esiason saying, oh, don't worry about it. We got this game, man. We got this game. I said, okay, Boom, that's what's up. And then they went down and kicked the field goal, and, and the game was over, man. And it was just wonderful to be down there on the field and experience that with those guys, man. It was unbelievable.
That must have been, an amazing experience. And, when you look at the Chiefs game and the AFC Championship game, and even in the regular season, both those games we were down and we came back and won. And a big reason of that is because, Joe Burrow. So what are your kind of thoughts on Joe Burrow? You have any favorite things about Burrow?
Man, I just like Joe Burrow's swag, man. He just got, and he's one of those players that come around every so often that just has that it factor, man. And, he just got it, man. He portrayed that when he got here. He got hurt his rookie year, but he was on schedule to break all the rookie records in throwing before he got hurt. Last year, he did some great things last year and got us to the Super Bowl. So We expect some great things out of him for 10 to 15 years, man. So I told the AFC North, you guys better watch out. Joe Burrows is here, baby, and we gonna be good for at least 10, 15 next year. So you guys better watch out because we gonna run that North.
And it's so crazy because when the draft was coming up and most Bengal fans expected we were going to take Burrow, we knew Burrow was going to be great, but the fact in his first full season we're already in the Super Bowl, which it's just kind of crazy to still think this team didn't really have much expectations, and we won the division, we were in the Super Bowl, and I feel like we're kind of ahead of schedule in a way because Burrow's development is way quicker than we kind of thought it was.
Yeah, like I said, he has that it factor, man. Just he's got that, kind of reminds me of a young Tom Brady, man. That just has it. Know how to read defense, know how to put the guys in the right offense against the defense that he's going against. Man, he's just unbelievable. Knows how to get himself out of trouble. Knows how to use his legs. Knows when to get down. Knows when to take the sack. Knows when to throw the ball away. So he just has it, man, and and hopefully he'll play as long as Tom has played, and hopefully bring us as many championships as Tom brought New England.
When you look at this Bengals past season, for the most part, we exceeded expectations, but just that one thing that we could not really get going, was our offensive line. But in the offseason and free agency, we kind of, got some upgrades and additions in the offensive line. We've also re-signed some of our other guys. So what are your thoughts so far on some of these Bengals free agency moves so far?
Well, I love the free agency move, especially on the offensive side of the ball, man, going out and getting the boy from Tampa Bay, and then young man from Tampa Bay, and then the young kid. You got Tampa Bay. We got the young kid from Dallas, and then we got the other kid from Buffalo. Was it Buffalo?
I think
he came from. So we actually went and got 3 starters, man. That's going to come in and start for us from day one, So and then we have a couple of guys from last year. We may get a chance to get Ogunjobi back. He failed his physical down there, and I forgot where he was going, but he failed the physical, and we may have an opportunity to get him back. That would be great if we can, reel him back into the fray, man. That would be wonderful. So, but they've done a lot of great things. Only thing I'm not too happy about is they didn't sign Jesse Bates. I know they put the franchise tag on him, but I wish they would have went on ahead and just, went on ahead and paid that kid, because he's done everything they've asked him to do, man, and he's been 100% bought into the program. He's a leader on that, not only on the defense, he's a leader on the team. So, they need to go ahead and lock that guy up for a good long-term contract.
It'd be really interesting to do, what they do with Bates. And, their main issues, heading into the offseason was the offensive line. And they really, attacked that, by signing 3 starters, like you mentioned. And, with the draft, just now under a month away, which is crazy to think, there's not really a desperate, position the Bengals have to go after. Is there any kind of position or player you're kind of interested in maybe wanting the Bengals to take with the 31st pick?
I think we need a little corner help. If they can probably maybe get a corner. I think the defensive side of the ball is where we need to get our first rounder. Whether it's a big DN or a cornerback. And I think we need, we got one more solid corner. I think we'll be great, because we got Hilton and I can't think of our other corner name, but we got those 2 solid corners, and then if we can add another corner, I think we'll be great there. But defensive lineman would work too. We're not really stressed on the offensive side of the ball anymore. We kind of addressed that in free agency, but you can never have too many offensive linemen. So I think they'll get a couple more offensive linemen, but I think they'll take them later in the draft. 3rd, 4th, or 5th round. So I think our first rounder should be spent on a defensive player.
Taking a corner in the first round would be really good because, I would agree. I feel like our one kind of we had to pick a weak spot. It probably would be a corner because if somebody were to go down, we didn't really have those, backups who have much, playing experience.
Right. Right.
But talking about the draft, you were actually drafted by Cincinnati in 1988, from UNLV in the second round. In your rookie season, you took the NFL by storm, having over 1,000 yards, 15 touchdowns. And, that season is what, the famous touchdown celebration, the Icky Shuffle, came to be about. So, what did that celebration, the Icky Shuffle, how did that all, start up? And where did that idea come from to start the Icky Shuffle?
Oh, man, I was sitting at home and I flew my mom in for a game. I think we were playing the Cleveland Browns at the time. And, I got up that night with my two oldest kids, which were 5 and 2. And I just got up and started listening to some music, got up and started acting silly. And I told my mom, I said, Mom, if I score tomorrow, this is what I'm going to do. She's like, boy, you bet not do that. You bet not do that. I said, oh, Mom, I got to. So it just started where I kind of just jumped in the air and put my hands between my legs. And then Ricky Dixon, who was our first round draft choice that year, came up to me after the game. He was like, Woods, what was that, man? I said, man, that was my celebration dance. He was like, man, that thing was whack, man. That was whack. I said, what you mean, Rick, it was whack? I said, so what you think I ought to do, Rick? You think I ought to put some steps to it? He was like, yeah, man, put some steps to it. So we were getting ready to play the New York Jets the following week. And I'm thinking the whole week, what can I do? What can I do? Couldn't come up with nothing. And then 5 minutes before it was time to go out and get warmed up, it just hit me. And I said, Rick, check this out, bruh. This is what I'm going to do today if I score. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3 back to the right. I'm going to hop back 3 times and spike the ball. He was like, oh, yeah, man, that's going to be live. That's going to be live. But I tell people, Jordan, I was just fortunate and blessed enough to be in the right place at the right time. We were winning ball games, and we made it to that Super Bowl that year. And that was one of the main reasons the Icky Shuffle caught on.
That's a great story. One of the most popular, touchdown celebrations of all time, came to be about. And you mentioned the Super Bowl, your rookie season. Some players, dream of playing in the Super Bowl and they play 10 to 15 years and never, make it. And you played it in your rookie season, which is something not many people can say. So what was it like, playing in a Super Bowl and everything like that?
It was fun, man. It was fun. I thought we should have ran the ball a little more, but, that's not my call. So, but being a running back, all running backs think we ought to run the ball more. But, the run game is what actually got us to the Super Bowl, where we averaged running it 40 to 45 times a game. To get to the Super Bowl, I think we ran it like 32, 33 times. So we didn't get nowhere near our average. And, and we were running the ball pretty well. I think I averaged like 4 yards a carry. So it wasn't like that. We wasn't running the ball well. So I don't know why we didn't run the ball, man. And, we were still had an opportunity to win the game. But I think the Stanley Wilson blow the night before the game, it kind of hurt us, man, because he was one of our morale guys, walk up and down the sideline, cursing everybody out, talking about, come on, guys, this is our game. These clowns can't beat us, And I think we missed that, man. We missed that. And then Tim Crumride went out to, third play of the game. So we had some things that happened to us early, man. They kind of, threw us for a loop there, but we were still in the game. We still had opportunities to win. And, and going to that prevent defense with 3 minutes left in the game, man, was horrible because that prevent defense don't do nothing but prevent you from winning games.
When you look, playing in the Super Bowl in the 1988 season and then the Bengals being in the Super Bowl the last season, if those two teams were, hypothetical matchup between the 2021 Bengals and the 1988 Bengals, who do you think would, end up winning that game?
We would probably kick their tail, man. We had better running backs for sure. We had me and JB. I'm just kidding. But I think we matched up real well, man. I think Eric Thomas would have probably played Chase. and done a great job on him. Lewis Phillips probably would have had him on Higgins, and then we'd have had to probably put David Fulcher or Solomon Wilcox on Tyler Boyd, man. But it would have been something to see. But only thing that would have hurt them is the same thing that hurt them in the Super Bowl. I think Tim Crumrye would have ate their tails up just like Aaron Donald did. So that offensive line probably would have cost them against us as well as it did in the Super Bowl.
That would have been a very interesting, matchup to see and everything. But, you mentioned, Fulcher and Tim Crumrye. There's multiple Bengal players who were very underrated, who just really never really got, the recognition they deserved. So throughout, like, your playing days with Cincinnati, who were just some of the players you played with that you thought were extremely underrated and never really got, the credit they deserved and everything like that?
Yeah, like you said, Tim Crumrye would happen to be one of them. And then Joe Kelly, one of our linebackers, would happen to be another one that didn't get the recognition I think he deserved. And then Rodney Holman, our tight end, was a great tight end, and Joe Walters, one of our offensive linemen, was unbelievable too, man. He didn't get the recognition that he deserved. And then that had to be it. And then we had a guy by the name of Reggie Williams was the senior of the crew, man, and he was very underrated, man, but he made a lot of plays, so I had to sort of say those guys were the ones I thought should have got more recognition and didn't.
When you look at the Bengals, even past and present, there's been so many players who are very, very good, but for whatever reason, don't really get the credit they deserve. And they're not really talked about in the national media because, they play for the Bengals and, everything like that. When you look at like AJ Green, Geno Atkins, and, he's fifth all-time interceptions. And it's unfortunate for a team, the Bengals, they have far better players than people realize, but just unfortunately, they're not really talked about enough.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with the Bengal organization too, man. They need to start pubbing these guys. Like you said, Ken Riley should be in the Hall of Fame. So should Ken Anderson. You got guys who are, been on the Bengals teams who have played well, who should have played well enough to be in the Hall of Fame. Because there's guys in the Hall of Fame right now whose stats aren't as good as these guys, but like you said, the simple fact is they play for the Bengals, and the Bengals just don't pub those guys the way they should. They should have where they are lobbying for these guys to get into the Hall of Fame, and they just don't do it for some reason.
I completely agree with what you said there. And, the 1988 season, you went to the Super Bowl. And then a couple years after, you retired in 1992, due to some unfortunate injury issues you had. So when you kind of look back at your career, is there like a favorite play or favorite moment throughout your NFL career?
I think the favorite moment, man, was getting to the big game and playing in the Super Bowl. That probably would be my favorite, and my fondest memory is to actually be able to play in the game that I dreamed of playing in when I was a little kid. So that had to be the highlight of my career.
I completely agree. So many people, dream, playing in that game, and the fact that you were able to play in the Super Bowl, I mean, that's something you can tell everybody. And it's a really, really cool experience and everything. And after your playing career, you've been a part of lots of different projects and stuff. And one project kind of in particular, was the Geico commercials, with the famous, cold cuts, phrase. Yeah. Those commercials were hilarious. So how did those commercials come to be about, and how was it like, filming those commercials?
Oh, it was good, man. They just happened to call the house one day, or called the Bengals organization and looking for me, and they got me, and we talked about it, put some numbers together, made the numbers work for everybody. And they flew me out to Beverly Hills, California, and we taped the commercial. So it was a great time, man. We had so much fun doing it, and and they started back running it again. So that was a good thing as well.
Those are some really, really funny commercials. I mean, you occasionally see them once every now and then. I think I saw one a month or so ago. They're really, really funny and stuff. And when you kind of look at right now, you have the Javonte Woods Foundation, and for some of the people who don't really know much about that foundation, can you kind of tell them what's that about and everything?
Yeah, well, it's the Javonte Woods Foundation, named after my son. I lost him 10 years ago to asthma. And so I started a foundation in his name called the Javonte Woods Foundation. And our main goal and purpose is to go around and raise money for asthma research and asthma education. So we have donated over 100,000 to Cincinnati's Children's Asthma Research Division. We gave out over 20 scholarships to kids going off to college, and we just try to get in the community and educate the community on how serious and severe asthma really is, because a lot of people don't realize asthma could kill, because I didn't realize it until it took my baby from me. And so we try to go out and unbeknownst to me and his mom, he was also on his driving permit, he checked that he wanted to be an organ donor. So we honored that, and he was able to help 4 people, save 4 lives with his organs and help countless others with his tissue. So we're real big on organ and tissue donation as well. So that's part of our foundation. And the 3.8 to Be Great scholarship, my son was a straight A student, and we have a scholarship that we give out each year to deserving young men and young women who suffer from asthma, who has at least a 3.8 grade point average. It's called the Javonte Woods 3.8 to Be Great scholarship.
That's really, really cool. You all have an unfortunate loss, but with that loss, you try to help others to have prevent a loss from them as well. And, I actually met you in Lexington, when you're, having a meet and greet for, your foundation and everything. So is there any events or anything like that you have upcoming for your foundation?
Yeah, we have our golf outing that's here in Cincinnati and Mason, Ohio at the Heritage Club. That's the second, that's the first Monday in May. And then I'm in Portsmouth, Ohio, the 7th and 8th of April, down there raising money for the foundation. And then we're looking in July, probably being at the Ohio State Fair. So things are starting to open back up. So we're starting to get out and, do some fundraising and raise some money, not only to find a cure, but hopefully can educate people on how severe and serious asthma is, so they don't go through the pain and suffering we went through with losing a loved one.
You mentioned Portsmouth. That's only about 20 minutes, half an hour away from here. I might have to come up there and meet you and stuff. But
yeah.
When you talk about your foundation and everything, is there a website or pages?
Yeah, you can go to it's called Javonte, and Javonte is spelled Jovante Woods Foundation.org. You can go on our website. We also got a store on our website where we sell memorabilia stuff to help raise money for the foundation as well. We should have a page on there where you can volunteer to help us out. We do the Bengals games every year. So we're always looking for volunteers to help us out with the Bengals games. So if you want to be a help to us, just go on the website, or you can email me at Icky@JavonteWoodsFoundation.org, and Icky is spelled Ickey @JavonteWoodsFoundation.org. If you want to get in contact with me for speaking engagement, anything like that, we're always looking to do some things to help raise money for the foundation.
You know, that's great and great and everything. I'll make sure to put the links in the description below so people can check out that foundation and everything. So, do you have any like personal social media pages where people can also follow you as well?
I do. It's the Ickster on Twitter, and I'm working on getting my other social media stuff up now as we speak.
It's really, really cool. I'll also put that, in the links in the description below. And that kind of really about does it, for this video. Icky, I would like to, really, thank you again for, joining and taking time of your day to join us today.
Hey, man, thank you for having me, brother. Anytime we can spread the word about the foundation and talk about our Bengals, I'm all in, brother.
100%. And, thank you all so much for listening. If you're new to the channel, if you've seen my videos before, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would really, really appreciate it. And I will see you all next time on the Sports Dude Hunt Show.